This is John from the Vesper's Garden. Today we're going to talk about a very common mistake that a lot of beginner gardeners make and what to do to fix it. This is another video in our How to Fix Beginners Mistakes series, and let's get right to it. So the result of this mistake is what a lot of gardeners call leggy seedlings or spindly seedlings. And usually when you buy a packet of seeds, it has instructions on how to sow the seed, whether it's a direct seeding outdoors or if it's an indoor seed starting or whatever you want to do. And it'll tell you the temperature of the best temperature for germination, or it'll tell you the spacing for the seeds, but it doesn't go into much more detail than that. And one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of beginners make is to follow those instructions and only those instructions. But what the packet of seeds doesn't tell you is that yes, the seeds will germinate at 75 to 80 degrees, or that they need watering and they need a specific spacing and whatnot. But once the seeds sprout, there's a whole new set of instructions that the seed packet doesn't give you. And if you continue to treat the seed the same way that you do before germination, then you're going to end up with a leggy seedling. And this is what a leggy seedling looks like. So here's what a leggy seedling looks like. This right here is a tomato plant that is a lot taller than it should be at this stage in its life. This is what it should look like. You can see it, the leaves are just above the soil. When a seed germinates, these two leaves here are the leaves that open up the seedling, open up the seed, and come right out and start to try to gather sunlight to store up energy and use energy to start to sprout the seedling. These leaves are the true leaves here. These leaves are just the baby leaves on the seedling. They will eventually fall off, die and fall off, and that's no problem because they're just there to open up the seed. But as soon as the seed sprouts, it should only come just above the soil like that and then start to grow. These here, they were reaching for the light. We had them in a windowsill. The temperature was a little bit too high, so all night they were growing. Outdoors, a seedling will sprout. A seed will sprout and the seedling will grow in the sunlight, in the warmth of the day, and then at night it will stop growing. But if you have some light and you have a warm temperature, the seedling is going to continue to grow even at night. But if the light is dim, if it's not getting full sun, it's going to reach for the light as much as it can because that's what its genetics tell it to do. And then you're going to end up with this long, spindly, leggy seedling, which it's not an unhealthy plant per se. It's just not the way that it should be. It's going to be flimsy in the wind when you eventually transplant it outside. It's going to be it's not going to hold up as much to the outdoor environment. You want it to be shorter, stocky. You want it to this is the way that it should be. This is not. If you end up with this problem because you didn't give it as much direct sunlight, or if you had the temperature too high after the seedling sprouted, it's no big deal. To avoid this problem, what you want to do is if you sow the seeds indoors, have a grow light that's literally an inch above the seeds, so that as soon as the seeds sprout, they're getting direct light instantly. If you're going to put the seed starter tray or whatever you start your seeds in a window, make sure that it gets direct sunlight for at least 8 hours a day. And that's not some ambient sunlight from the window. You want to be able to see the actual sun in the window for those 8 hours, or else it's not considered direct sunlight. That's only after the seeds sprout. When the seed is before the seed sprouts, it's okay. You can have it in the windowsill. You could have a grow light 10 inches above it, no big deal. The biggest issue is water and temperature at that point. But once the seed sprouts, then you want the light, direct sunlight, or grow light directly above the seeds. But if you're a beginner and you didn't know that already and you ended up with leggy seedlings, it's not a big deal. This is what you need to do. As you can see, this tomato plant we already fixed. This is what it looked like. This is what it looks like now. We have right here, these are some cucumbers. This is one that we fixed. This is what they look like. They were very, very leggy, and we fixed them, and now they're doing great. So this is what you need to do. This is just a plain styrofoam cup. They're very cheap to grow plants in. You can get 50 of them for $1. It's a great way to start plants indoors in an inexpensive way. These peat pots are a lot more expensive. They don't really work great, to be honest with you. This is a much better way to go. So take your seedling and you want to loosen it up, and this tray is a little inconvenient, so I just use a little tool, like a little spoon like this, and don't grab it by the stem, grab it by its little baby leaves there and pull it up gently until you get it out of the tray like that. Be very gentle with the roots, obviously. Be very gentle with the stem. Try to just get it out as easily, as gently as you can. Now, take your soil, pre-moisten your soil, and just make a little indentation in there like that. And then you want to just drop your seedling in there and press it down so that the leaves are just above the top of the pot that you're going to be putting it in. And then from there, you just want to backfill some more seed starting soil. Pack it down in there. And this is going to reroot the stem cells in the seedling. Will tell it to turn into root from the stem. Is going to reroot in here, and it's going to be perfectly new and sturdy little seedling the way that it should be. Now you want to put this in direct sunlight. Make sure that it stays watered. Don't overwater it, because at this point the roots can rot just like any other full-grown plant. So make sure it stays watered and in direct sunlight, and you'll be good to go. So I hope that this video helps. If you end up with leggy seedlings and you think that it's the end of your seeds and the end of your new baby plants, it's not the end of the world, it's not the end of your garden, it's okay. Just follow the instructions in this video. You'll end up with perfect little seedlings, and once they grow, you'll be able to put them outside, no problem. And from now on, make sure that when you sow your seeds indoors or outdoors, make sure that they get direct sunlight as soon as they sprout, and you won't end up with leggy seedlings. So again, I hope that this video helps. This is John from the Vesper's Garden. I'll talk to you next time.